A war over a pastry. Sounds like a joke, right? But in 1838, France and Mexico actually fought with cannons, blockades, and amputations, all starting from a bakery bill. And trust me, the truth is even more ridiculous than the myth. But first, subscribe so you never miss History's craziest stories and maybe add 5 years to your curiosity lifespan. It all starts with a French pastry chef, Monsieur Ramontel, in Mexico City. In 1828, during a riot, Mexican soldiers trashed his shop, ate his pastries, drank his wine, and left without paying. He demanded compensation for his losses from the government, but was basically ignored. So he did what any reasonable person would do. He complained to France. Now, the French king, Louis Philippe, wasn't really in the mood to hear this complaint. He had a lot on his plate, including a little thing called the July Revolution, which had just put him on the throne. But this pastry chef, he was persistent. And also, France and Mexico had an issue to settle anyway. France had loaned Mexico 10 million francs a few years back, and Mexico was extremely late on their payments, so the king agreed to hear the pastry chef out. He wanted 60,000 pesos for his losses, which, if we're being honest, is an insane amount of money. Like, that's more than $1 million today for some fancy desserts. But this was also an opportunity to get back at Mexico for not paying France, and maybe even seize some valuable Caribbean islands while they were at it. So the king just added the pastry chef's claim to the list of things Mexico owed France and sent them an ultimatum. Pay up or else. Mexico refused, obviously, because they were broke. So, on November 1838, French ships arrived to blockade Mexico's coast, cutting off trade and sinking any ships that tried to leave. Then in December, they bombarded the fortress of San Juan de near Veracruz. The French thought it was an easy payday, but they hadn't met the man who would soon be immortalized at the Alamo. Yes, that Santa Anna, the guy who lost his leg at the Alamo and then came back to life, except this time he was defending Mexico, not fighting for the Texans. He led the defense against the French until a cannonball shattered his leg. Doctors amputated the whole thing below the knee, and he survived. But he held a funeral for his leg anyway, complete with a coffin and a eulogy. The French continued to bombard the fort for 3 more months, killing hundreds of Mexicans. But they couldn't take the fort. Eventually, Santa Anna traveled to Mexico City, told the president to just pay the damn bill, and ended the war. There are 2 problems with this story. 1, historians can't find much evidence that the pastry chef existed. Some say he was just a figment of the French imagination, created to make Mexico look bad and give Louis Philippe an excuse to flex his military might. Problem no. 2, after Santa Anna paid the French and ended the war, he returned to find that his job was gone. His old post had been taken by the son of the French ambassador, who was making 10 times what Santa Anna was making. So after defending his country and saving its economy from collapse, Santa Anna got screwed twice! The French got what they wanted, and the only pastry chef who might have started the whole thing got away with a fortune. Either way, it's proof that sometimes wars aren't about land or gold or even oil. Sometimes they're about pride and pastries. Hit like if you enjoyed this bite-sized history and tell me in the comments what the dumbest reason you've ever argued with someone. I'll pin the funniest answer. Thanks for watching. See you next time!